my name is Abigail Mask, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the CAA Historical Timeline. The Brown v. Board of Education case in 1954 made it clear that ELLs cannot be fully separated from other students during their education under the form to help them learn English. It also made it clear that states are responsible for providing students with equal educational opportunities. This case opened the way for high-quality bilingual programs. The Bilingual Education Act of 1968 was written as a bill to provide federal funding for school districts to support bilingual educational programs. It entered into federal law as Title VII of the ESEA, Elementary and Secondary Education Act in 1968. It provides grants to school districts and other eligible entities through a competitive grant process. The passage of this act led to the adoption of similar policies in several states. The Lau v. Nichols case in 1974 was about Chinese American students in San Francisco who were placed in mainstream classrooms despite their lack of proficiency in English and were left to sink or swim. Districts argued that the Chinese American students received treatment equal to that of the other students. After this case, U.S. Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights created Lau remedies, which went after other districts that were ignoring the needs of ELLs. These remedies require districts to implement bilingual education programs for ELLs. The Equal Education Opportunities Act of 1974. The essence of Lau was organized into federal law through the Equal Education Opportunities Act of 1974. It declares that no state can deny educational opportunities to an individual on account of his or her race, color, sex, or national origin. This act remains in effect, and several lawsuits have been based on this important legislation. The ESEA, Educational and Secondary Education Act, reauthorized as the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001, its implementation began in 2002. The Bilingual Education Act was replaced by Title III, Language Instruction for Limited English Proficient and Immigrant Students. The word bilingual was removed. By 2002, ELLs were allowed to be excluded from reading tests, and by 2006, their math test scores could be excluded from school calculations. All students, including ELLs, were expected to pass state tests by 2014. NCLB drove U.S. education policy for 14 years. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009 was part of the Obama administration and federal education policy. It included over $44 billion in funding for education. Part of this act was Race to the Top, which provided over $4 billion in competitive grants for states to begin education reform efforts. A continued emphasis on high-stakes testing. The Common Core State Standards Initiative of 2010 was a state-led effort initiated by the National Governors Association and the Council of Chief State School Officers. It developed common language arts and mathematics standards for states to adopt. The CCSS is labeled as Next Generation Standards that are designed to raise the bar and ensure that all high school graduates are prepared for college coursework. The Elementary and Secondary Education Act flexibility of 2011 provided waivers from No Child Left Behind's accountability requirements. Each state was required to propose an alternative accountability system addressing principles similar to those of Race to the Top. They were also required to revise their ELP standards and were expected to establish interventions focused on improving the performance of ELLs. Many ELL advocates became concerned that such practice would mask the unique linguistic, cultural, and academic needs of ELLs. At the end of 2015, U.S. Congress reauthorized the ESEA as the Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA. It maintains the standards and testing requirements of NCLB, but affords states much greater flexibility in establishing school accountability programs. Full implementation of ESSA began in the 2018-2019 school year. It appears to be an improvement over NCLB. The Look Act of 2017, established as an act relative to language opportunity for our kids. It allows school districts flexibility in choosing bilingual education or other language programs. In most states, bilingual education is neither restricted nor required, but remains as an option. Because of this act, many more schools are continuing to provide bilingual programs, which have been found to be effective in meeting the language and academic needs of their ELLs. Listed below are the references used for this presentation. Thank you for your time.